Sheriff Tim Robertson's here with us in the studio, and I don't think you've ever been on our show before.
I have not.
Have you not?
Thank
well,
you
good,
for having
good.
me.
You're the new sheriff.
Yes, sir, I am.
How's it going? I bet you were thrust into this whole thing, and things are just a whirlwind down there.
Things are definitely a whirlwind, but we're having a good time at it.
Good deal. Well, what is going on down there? I know the COVID thing. You're coming in. I said, "What do you want to talk about?" And you goes, "Oh, the COVID thing."
Well, obviously
everybody's got to do something about it, don't they?
We have those issues, and day one we kind of locked the doors. Luckily, we have inmates we can clean very regularly.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all wear masks, especially in the jail. We've been pretty lucky. Jails across the state and across the country have had issues with COVID. So far, we have not. Not that that's not possible.
Yeah.
We still fight that battle every day, trying to. When this is all said and done, we want to be able to go to our association meetings and say we did not have COVID in our jail.
Right.
Most is not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But luckily, so far we have.
Yeah.
We've had a few employee issues, but not inside the jail, and
Okay.
that's kind of confined space back there. So we're lucky in a sense that. The way our jail is designed, we have 5 holding cells that are away from the general population. So we have a pretty good quarantine spot there for our inmates. The bad part about that is we only have 5.
Yeah, okay.
And there are days that we need to put a lot more than 5 people.
Yeah, and you're confining people really close together in a situation like that.
But you have an expansion going on right now.
We do. We're building. We'll have. They're about 70% complete, and we probably our goal is to open that up January 1, start the new year with that, and we're on track to do that. That'll add 44 beds.
I saw the pictures on Facebook.
Yep.
Looks good.
Yeah, we that thing's built in we call them pods. It's a pie with different pods in it, so. We'll have what we call an open barracks, which is just a big open room with beds, and we can house low-level offenders there, and then our more violent offenders, a pod will have some individual cells. Well, I say individual; they'll have 2 beds in each cells, and that way we can segregate and keep people separated more. And the bottom line is that the issue, everybody would like to have. Cells inside their pods, but it gets down to a money thing. You can build an open pod a lot cheaper, and there are people that doesn't need to be locked up in a cell, or they don't have to be. They may need to be, but it's a cost versus need, and that's just kind of the happy medium. So we're adding a pod of cells and just an open barracks.
Now, one thing you were talking about earlier is that you're going to be moving into the 22nd century with computers in your cars?
Absolutely.
I had no idea that you already did not have those.
Well, and most agencies across the country do have those now, but luckily, about the time I got to take over, there's a grant out there. RDOT came out with a grant. It's an e-grant thing, and it's a 90-10, and we've went through that process, been approved, just waiting on the go-ahead to order our computers and get them installed, and that's about $100,000.
Yeah.
Our quorum court has graciously already given us the match money, which is a little over $10,000, and we're getting $100,000 worth of equipment to put us into this century, and and those guys they'll be much more efficient. That it'll be a system where they'll be able to scan driver's license, scan registrations.
Cut down the radio traffic. I mean, time delayed and calling somebody and find out what the driver's license is.
Exactly. It does all of that. And what I really like about it is the reports. The way we are now, if they go out and take a report or 2 or 3, at some point they have to go back to the office, sit down at a tabletop computer and do a report. So now, if nothing else, they can be out on the roadside doing the reports, and as people drive by, they're seeing a marked police car in their neighborhoods, which, I think that'll cut down crime.
Wow.
Yeah, and they cut down their times of going back and forth to the office. Cool. Well, what else is going on? What would you like to see in the next in your next term as sheriff?
Well, and we're already working on that too. Kind of along the same lines, our computer system, the department computer system, is 14 years old, and it's been a great system for the first 10 years. But as you know, that stuff just it becomes obsolete.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're in the process of trying to add update the entire office with a new computer system, and I think we're going to be able to do that. Something that just kind of that I'd like for people to know, but that just kind of came to light yesterday. We have and we haven't even got to get very deep into an investigation, but we had 2 calls yesterday. There are people out there that are calling our elderly people and telling them that their grandchild is in trouble and asking for money, substantial amounts of money, and we actually had one yesterday that lost some money that way. And but if your parents, anybody you know that's elderly, please get the word out there. Don't be getting cash and just giving to people, because 10 times out of 10, that's a scam.
Yeah.
So if we could get that stopped before it gets off the ground, we'd like to do that.
Yeah. If it can happen here, it happens all over the place.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So people target anyone,
Yeah.
and you wonder how they got that person. Do they just call people from random, or
Well, I don't.
we get a lot of robocalls here. I'm sure a lot of people do too.
Maybe through some social media, but like
I see.
one of the cases that happened yesterday, it was an elderly lady, and when they talked about her grandson, they knew his name.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
They referred to him
Oh,
by
okay.
name. And then another case, and in this particular, the second case that we had yesterday, they actually put a young man on the phone trying to disguise himself as this gentleman's grandson, which, and he told us, he said it really didn't sound like him, but he's had a cold. But he almost gave him money too, and then it kind of like, well, this is just not right.
Oh, boy.
So luckily he did not.
Yeah. So your advice is to, if you have any kind of suspicion, do you want them to call the?
Yes, please
Yeah.
do.
Okay,
Yes,
call you, yeah.
If they get that call, let us know about it, and maybe it will help us find who's
Yeah.
doing this.
Well, if someone's legitimate, they're not really concerned about freely giving out their phone number.
Absolutely.
They could say,
not.
"Hey, I'm not really sure right now. Give me your phone number and I'll call you back."
Yes.
Yeah, and then call the
Yeah.
sheriff's office,
Sure.
and then you can break it down. If
Please
it's
call
legitimate,
us.
it's
Yes.
legitimate.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Do you want to talk about the distracted driving thing, or?
Yeah. We have a lot of things going on.
Okay.
But another smaller thing that we have is we've applied for and received from the state. It's called a STEP grant. It's something that the state police and the city police has done for years, but they give you certain periods of time, normally around the holiday, that they will allow us to work some overtime working particular traffic violations. This week happens to be distracted driving.
Okay.
As the year goes on, we will get, they will let us know, and we'll work some like DWI enforcement. There will be some seatbelt enforcement, things like that. But throughout the year, we will be, and we'll advertise that, what it is and when it's going to be. But just to try to make our highways safer, and a little side note to that grant is we get a little bit of equipment out of it too.
Okay.
So that all comes at no cost to our
Yeah.
local taxpayers.
So what are some of the things that could distract a driver that you would want to,
The
warn
big
them about?
big one's cell phones.
Yeah.
But that could get into having a dog in your lap driving.
Okay.
Or maybe kids acting up. Or distracting the driver.
Or maybe the kids are jumping from one
Yes.
the front to back
Yeah,
seat and they don't have a
things-
seatbelt on.
Things
that
like
kind of
that
thing,
that's
yeah.
going to take your attention away from your driving.
Yeah.
Now, I've even heard that, like, personal grooming.
Oh, my
I don't know
gosh.
if the story's true, but someone said they were pulled over because they were brushing their hair, or and I've seen it. I mean, I'll drive and stop at a stoplight, and I could see the girl behind me doing her
Oh,
makeup,
absolutely,
or
yes. And that is a good example. I'm
Yeah.
not sure that we're going to get so
Pulled
picky as
over
to combing your
lipstick,
hair,
yeah.
but yeah, if you're putting your makeup on going down the road, that's a great example.
Especially
Yeah.
if they go over the yellow line
Yes.
a couple time or
Yeah.
two, that
Yeah.
might be a good indication.
right.
All right. Well, hey, thanks so much for coming. And don't be a stranger. We'll ask you to come back. If there's anything that you want our viewers to know about, please come back.
I'd love to anytime, and we're about 6 or 7 weeks into school now.
Okay.
So I'd like everybody to understand that we've got buses out there on the
Sure,
road.
sure, yeah.
Be patient. We just don't want to work that accident where we've hurt a kid.
Yeah. And
So-
stay off your
so-
phone when you're
Yes,
driving.
Right.
help us with that. Thank y'all for having
Thanks,
me.
Tim. Thank you very much. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Dan Dillard and Dave Fenton are here, and we're going to talk about something that Sheriff is all too familiar about, and that's drug take-back. We'll find out all about that. Stay with us.